Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, great people. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. I just wanted to hop on here this morning and speak on this week's revelation, to speak on something that I believe has helped tremendously in my process of evolution, in my process of evolving, in my process of growing, maturing, of learning, of being, of learning how to be, just be. So this week's revelation is basically summed up in a question. What do you do when you are confronted? What do you do when you are challenged in what it is that you believe and what it is that you have founded as a belief system or a value system? What do you do when that happens? What do you do when that occurs? What's the process mentally, emotionally, spiritually? What's the process? And so that's where I'm coming from today. That's where I'm coming from. And I'm going to hop right in. So for my first point, well, I'm not even going to do points today. I'm just going to flow with it. We're going to do it like that today. So, we've all heard the scripture that says iron sharpens iron. When iron actually sharpens against another piece of iron, there's friction. There's friction. It's not just smooth. And the initial part of it is rough. It's friction. Towards the end is when the iron becomes sharpened. After the fact is when the iron becomes sharpened. But in the beginning, it's not. In the beginning, it is simply just friction. So, coming from that perspective or that analogy, I started to think about, I had an interaction where I was challenged, confronted on a belief, and I didn't immediately reject what was brought to me. It challenged my beliefs. It challenged, so in my mind, in my opinion, there are three different beliefs. There are what I like to call inherited beliefs that come from family, that come from upbringing, that come from friends. Those are inherited as you grow, physically develop in life. Then there's societal beliefs. Societal beliefs come from society, come from media, come from school, institutions, foundations. Those are things, those are beliefs. Those beliefs are instilled in that way. And then for the final category, for the third one, is learned beliefs. Learned beliefs are, in my opinion, are those life experiences. Those are learned beliefs. Those are, I inherited this belief. I got this belief from school. And I now believe this. So I have learned that what I learned, or what was inherited as a belief, is not actually fact. It's not actually true. This is the truth. That's a learned belief, in my opinion, just to give you an example, just to break it down. So out of these three, immediately my societal beliefs were challenged in the going back to the experience. In the experience, my societal beliefs were challenged. One of those institutions being church as well. School, church, media, social media, whatever media, news media, whatever it is. In that instance, my church beliefs my experience in church, the societal belief stemming from church was challenged. So I took heed. I listened, quick to hear, slow to speak. I took in what I was hearing. I took in the information and I backed it against what I had already learned, what was already established as a belief in me. And it's not like it didn't make sense, but it just didn't connect. It just didn't agree with that particular belief. And so, quick to hear, slow to speak. Like I said, I took note of it, put it against the word, researched it in the word, instead of taking it at face value, instead of going with what I already knew, and I allowed myself to be challenged. I allowed myself to do the work of research, do the work of searching out, seeking out what is really true concerning this matter. And when I did, I found something surprising. I found something that shifted my perspective, that changed the value that I had set in that particular belief. So I took what I read, what I researched, what I sought out, and I said, okay, yeah, this is the truth. This is actuality. This is real. This is what it says in the word. This is fact. This is the truth. And I love to align myself with truth because truth sets me free. Truth makes me free. Truth takes me from what I have been groomed in, behaviors, mindsets, thoughts, and puts me into a liberated state, into a liberated state of mind, a liberated way of setting my mind to think. And it was amazing. It was amazing because I can look back on a time in my life to where I was so religious that would immediately been shunned, that would immediately been rejected, that would immediately like, oh, what? No. Without hearing what it is that was really being said, what it is that was really being taught. So if I believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah, if I believe that he is teaching me, showing me how to live this life because he's already lived it, because he's at all points been tempted and tested as I have, or tempted as I have in this life, living this life yet without sin, why not allow myself to stay in the mode and the shape of learning, to stay in the mode and the shape of gleaning from what it is that he has already taught, what it is that he's already said, what it is that's already instructed in the word, having the mind of Christ, being humble in my thoughts. Even as he went about, when he went through different cities and towns, he always allowed them to speak from the place, their vulnerable place, their what they believe, their personal truth, their perspective at that time. And he always asked the question to follow it up. He didn't tell them they were wrong. He didn't tell them, that's not right. he never approached it in that way. He asked a question, and when the question was answered, he gave them something to think about. He took the answer and now made a statement of truth that allowed them to think and to ponder on what it is that he said. And that's what brought amazement. That's what brought transformation. That's what helped them to renew their mind. That's what helped them to become who it is that they were originally intended to be. That's how he was able to change their names. Peter from Saul to Paul. The names that he gave them was who they actually were. But because of inherited belief, because of societal beliefs, because of learned beliefs, it's all in my opinion, they were a portion of who they actually were. They weren't functioning how they were supposed to function in their full potential. However, as I stated before, being able to be humble and learn, listen intently, to hear with both ears, to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying, was saying in that time to them, they were able to grasp hold of being a new creature in Christ. They were able to be that. They were able to become in the image and the likeness of God who created them. They were able to do that very thing. And not only just in that one example, in that one interaction, in that one scenario, but also they were able to, for me, in that one interaction that I had, there's another interaction that I researched and I sought it out, and I didn't deem it to be truth based on what the word said. And so in one instance, I uncovered truth. Our truth was uncovered to me. Our truth was made plain to me. In another instance, it was just challenged. It was for me to back it against the word, to put it against the word, to line it up, to see how it matched up, to see what I really grasp hold of, what I really cling to, and what I refrain from clinging to. It let me know, it showed me my foundation. My foundation is sure. My foundation is stable. My foundation is firm. My foundation is solid. My foundation is stable. Based on what I believe. And then this is another thing too, because you can also be in the word and have the wrong perception. You can also be in the word and have the wrong revelation because your perception is skewed because of inherited belief, because of societal belief, because of learned beliefs. But the beauty in it is that those learned beliefs are, for me, the place where I evolve. Because I can take what I have learned, be challenged in the area, be challenged on a subject. I can now take that learned belief and dismantle it and erect and construct a new belief, a new learned belief in the place of it. And as I implement that new belief, that new learned belief, it now changes the way that I think. It now changes the way that I behave. It now changes the way that I feel. It now changes the way that I interact with people. How I show up in the world. How I show up as who I claim to be. If I claim to be a child of the Most High God, if I claim to be a daughter of the Most High God, then I show up in that way. I show up in that way. And so, yep, that's pretty much the basis of this video. The basis of this video is, what do you do when you are challenged? What do you do when you are confronted? When your beliefs, your belief system, this system that everybody got a system, whether they know it or not, whether they lean into it or not, whether they are aware of it or not, everybody has a system. Everybody has a pragmatic way of thinking, of believing, of being. That's what determines our level of trust. That's what determines our perception. That's what determines our understanding. If we are limited in that, we are limited in our growth. If we are limited in that, we are limited in our evolution. But if we are open in that, if there is no capacity, if there is no cap to it, if we're open to hear, open to see, there's no limit to how much and how far and how deep and how wide we can go. Because God is infinite. There is no limit to him. He is continual. Continual. He is the ing. He is going and going and going and going and going forevermore. Infinite, never ending. Never. Never. And we go through phases. We go through phases. Living this life, we go through phases. Parts of us die. Parts of us live. As parts of us die, parts of us live. And as we get the beliefs that are untrue, that are from a faulty perspective, from a faulty belief system, we live in the new. As we embrace it, we live in the new belief system. We live in the new mindset. We set our mind on things above. We set our mind on heavenly things. We set our mind on the affections that he's placed in our heart, that he's set in our heart. We set our mind in this way. And this way, we store up these treasures, these revelations, these truths. We store them up. I believe that the treasures that they speak about is revelation and truth, which leads way, branches out into wisdom and knowledge and understanding, which leads and branches out into our evolution and prospering, so on and so forth. It just keep branching out. All of it branches out, just like there is no end to God. There is no end to this process. There is no end to this process. And so having this mindset, to me, is beautiful. To me, is abundant. To me, is abundance. Because I'm ever evolving. It's overwhelming. It's extended. It's abundance is continual. And it's not overflowing like it's seeping out. It's contained, yet there's a portion that just continues to come out, that continues to flow out, that continues to keep going, that is continuous. And in this way, there is revelation in his faithfulness. And in this way, there is revelation to how stable he is, how founded, grounded he is, how firm he is. He's a firm foundation. His character. There's so many faces. There's so many facets. There's so many ways that he shows himself to us, or to me. Because the more that you seek and research and seek out his kingdom, his way, his spirit, is opened up. He opens it up. He continues to enlighten. He continues to bring insight, give understanding to what we are ignorant to what we do not understand. And the more that I learn, the more that I learn, the more that I understand that the things that I thought I knew, the things that I was so sure of, when it comes to him, I don't know nothing. I don't know. I'm like a student coming in to learn, to glean from him, learning of him, learning of his way, learning of his spirit. And even when I think that when I think I got his way, now this is the way he is. Yeah, in that way, in that facet, but this facet opens up another facet, and it branches off down into this, and then it has roots in this, and then it goes up into this. It's just on and on and on and on, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. He's beautiful. His presence is beautiful. His spirit is beautiful. His love is beautiful. And that's the beauty in it. That's the whole gist of it. Because all of it is consummated into love. He is love. And so because he is love, when he gives that revelation, when he gives that truth, when he exposes it and pulls the covers back on it, pulls the sheets back on it, and exposes it to you, it's nothing but love. It's nothing but love. It's a depth of love. It's a measure of love. And that's what makes me quick to hear and slow to speak. Because it's not the first time that I've been challenged. It's not the first time that I've been confronted and I learned new truth. And the truth liberated my thoughts. And the truth liberated my mind. And the truth liberated the way that I see life, people, myself, my family. It shifted my perspective. It shifted the dynamic of what I know life to be, what I know. It shifted it. It shifted it, and it placed it in this place of, this is real, this is truth, this is foundation. Because his word stands. His word is forever. It cannot be moved. It cannot be uprooted. It cannot. It cannot. It stands forever. And it goes out. It moves. It's active. It moves into wherever he sends his word. It goes into that place. And it does exactly what he sends it to do. It accomplishes exactly what he sends it to do. Just like the rain comes from heaven, just like the rain comes from the sky, from the clouds, and it penetrates the earth. It feeds the soil, it nourishes the soil, and then it returns its due. His word returns to him, but it doesn't come back void. It comes back in completion. It comes back in a status, in a state of completion. And so, yep, that's the gist of today's video. That is the gist of today's video. And if I had to sum it up in a topic, the name of this video would be Confrontation. Confrontation. And so, yep, y'all have a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful day today. A beautiful morning, a beautiful night. Whenever you catch this, whenever you watch this, have a beautiful, beautiful day.